Okay, so previous recording was a success, which is nice. So we're going to continue. Back to Antsville, because we miss them so dearly. So we're gonna try not to go through the long route and see maybe, maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe we'll manage to, So, my aiming is crap. Now, the dog is trying to help here. Too many misses. Let's give it another go. Yes. Shit. Yes. Yes. Let's just run in there and yeah, we made it. Yeah. A few minutes saved right there.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. 1, 2, 3. Go, 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 go. Quickly, before they wake up.
Oh.
Yes, made it. Okay.
Yeah. Stop whimpering, Murphy. I think we're just about done with the caves now. Sorry, Murphy. Still more caves to go through.
Absolutely nothing but...
Ah, this must be the palace. Come on, Murphy. I guarantee the professor's imprisoned here somewhere. Let's sneak in, grab him, and then make our escape back to the outside world in the Zeppelin. Oops, I forgot about that world-saving business.
Okay, so... the trees here are trying to kill you this time. The nice part, though, is that they also try to kill the ants, so it's not all bad. Yes. Oops, let's grab this.
Yeah.
So there's a whole area there where you can fight ants for fun and profit, but it's not fun, so no profit.
Now I know where Smokey gets all his ammunition. I wonder if those hell fruits aren't used for the bomb towers as well. Yeah. Oh.
And we have arrived at the entrance. Of course, it's locked and it's guarded, so we'll just enter through the sewers, which are nice and large. This is one of those multi-scene things, which is quite annoying. The thing is, there's absolutely nothing here. Nothing. I've tried roaming around. I couldn't find anything. There's no reason to get out of the water and roam around. I mean, nice graphics and everything, but nothing to do. So you're basically supposed to go over yonder. And I think if I go directly, then no one's going to stop me or care. See? Long cutscene, well, story.
I got a plan. We sneak into the palace, find the professor, and free him. Then we steal the Zeppelin and use it to disarm all the bomb towers. And finally, we fly back with it through the hole in the North Pole. When I came to again, I was held by 2 guardian ants. But to my amazement, they didn't kill me outright, but instead dragged me through the palace into some kind of throne room. Great. Now the smoky gob will have me for dinner, I thought as I looked around for possible escape routes. I noticed a huge high-backed chair facing out of the window with its back towards me. I couldn't see who or what was sitting in it, but judging from the wisps of smoke, I guessed it had to be that monstrosity, the smoky god. I couldn't imagine an animal that actually emits smoke, except possibly fairy tale dragons, so I watched in horror as the chair turned slowly.
Ah, my rescuer, I presume.
Professor Osterlind, you're still alive. I cried out like an idiot as the truth dawned upon my bewildered mind.
Yes, and as you certainly know by now, I control this inner earth as its supreme leader. My subjects obey my slightest whim and are more than eager to participate in my grand plan.
Agharta seemed to hold a different view on the grandness of your plan.
I have taken care of that traitorous devil. His feeble-minded rebellion didn't affect my plan in the slightest.
Professor Osterlind? Could you fill me in on the details of your grand plan? I think that I'm missing some pieces.
Very well, young man. When I was a young boy, I was given a box filled with old manuscripts. They told a tale of a Norse seaman called Olaf Jansson, who found a way into the hollow earth. The manuscript came into the possession of my grandfather, Gustav Osterlind, after he had consigned the seaman to a mental institution. The story fired my imagination as a young child and was my favorite fantasy during adolescence. Much later, while participating in a geological expedition in the Arctic, I found a mineral that I had never heard of in all of my years as a scientist. The mineral, which I dubbed sonolite, had the peculiar ability to store energy and then re-release it as powerful sound waves. After some research, I came to the conclusion that this mineral must be the source of the world's earthquakes and seismic tremors. I showed my findings to my colleagues. Instead of celebrating my fantastic discovery, they scoffed at my ideas and ridiculed my research. My findings would ruin their own efforts, so they started to deny me research money and ridiculed me in public.
Quite a sob story there, Mr. Osterlind. But could you please get to the point?
Don't interrupt me. As I was saying, for the sonolite to be responsible for all seismic disturbances, I realized that the Earth couldn't be a solid sphere, but had to be hollow. This led me to reevaluate the old story from the Norse seaman. The more I studied the issue, the more convinced I became of the truth behind it. I fitted out an expedition with my family funds, since none of my so-called colleagues showed even the slightest interest, and I headed for the Arctic. After some searching, I found the hole that leads to Agharta, the Hollow Earth. I told my trustworthy assistant Eckert where we were, but kept the rest of the expedition in the dark. Our camp was attacked by giant semi-intelligent ants, and Eckert and I were carried away. After a long and arduous journey, we arrived at their city, and I managed to convince them that I would serve them better as a helper instead of becoming their lunch.
How did you convince them? They just keep shooting. There's no dialogue option. Come on.
Yeah, helping them wipe out one another, as it seems.
Stop interrupting me! Well, within a year of arriving at their city, I was their de facto ruler and started to work on my grand plan. I made the ants erect towers directly below all major cities of the outside world. I then collected and purified the sonolite out of those strange trees that I'm sure you've noticed.
Yeah, I've seen them. Could you please stop being so long-winded?
Silence, you dog! The trees somehow concentrate the sonolite into their fruit, which I use to create my bomb towers. Each tower carries an explosive force far beyond all the bombs exploded in the Great War. When the time is ripe, I will set off my bomb towers to wipe out civilization in one swift blow. Then I will emerge from the hole of the North Pole in my grand flying machine and force any survivors into total submission. Your feeble attempts to foil my plan have only caused a minor delay. I've collected the remaining tower keys here and will instruct my ant followers to start the countdown as soon as they get back the keys. Now that you've seen how futile your efforts have been to stop me, would you consider joining me in my grand plan? You must also have seen the ills of this world and realize that my plan is the only way to cleanse it from corruption, hypocrisy, and evil.
You're just as mad as you are evil, and I don't want any more of your huffing and puffing, Mr. Osterlind. I swear I'll do everything to stop this lunacy, I said as I kicked him in the midriff and scooped up the keys. I ran for the nearest window and jumped to my escape. To my horror, I realized that I was much higher up in the palace than I'd imagined, but luckily the window I leapt through was above water, so I still managed to land safely. When I broke the surface, I heard the professor's sirens going all around me, and I started thinking about how to make good my promise to stop his insane plan.
Okay. So, if you didn't fall asleep during this part of the story, well, I'll stop here and see that the recording is okay. And the thing is, I think this is the backtracking part.